We move on to Group D, the last set of group stages games in Group D. Uh, France losing to Denmark 1-0 in a game that France did not
Tunisia.
matter. To Denmark. France losing to, I keep mixing up all my countries. France losing to Tunisia 1-0 in a game that did not matter at all to France. They replaced 9 players. Um, you know, simple as that. Tunisia, this game mattered. We'll get to that real quick. But the main attraction of this group, Australia getting a 1-0 win against Denmark to send them through to the knockout stage in a game that Denmark had to win to head to the knockout stage. Not in fact, they do not even get a draw. They lose the game in a game that they had to win. Um, let me go first. Actually, I was very high on this Denmark team. I think I had them in the quarters maybe, or maybe semis. I don't know. They had a very good run leading into the tournament. They did great in World Cup qualifying. They played some beautiful, beautiful, exceptional football. And you know, I think the thing that was very surprising for me is their inability to be able to create goals. When you see them in World Cup qualifying, when you saw them at last Euros, they got so many players in the box. They scored some wonder goals. Individually, the players were not scared to take on players one-on-one to open space for other players. Their fullbacks got high up the field and were goal scorers. Mela, um, uh, Daniel Weiss, they weren't afraid of getting to the box, getting on the end of a cross. They they got up high. They played good attacking football, one touch passing. They got players forward. All that, it was great. But for some reason, throughout this World Cup, they've looked very one-dimensional, and they never ever looked like that they were gonna score a goal. They never did. And they never had. There was like a 10-minute period in that first half against Australia where they had Australia on their back foot. But apart from that, throughout this entire tournament, they never actually put pressure even on the goalkeeper. It was shocking to me. They scored out. They changed the coach. It's hard to pronounce. He's a very good coach though. He changed the striker 3 different times. Each group stage game, he went with different strikers. It was like he was trying to figure out his team. For me, I was just shocked this Denmark performance. And honestly, I mean, defensively they were very solid, and the midfield did what they did. But I mean, if you're not gonna score goals, you don't deserve to move on to the knockout stage. And throughout this entire tournament, their one goal came off a corner kick. No goals on open play. You can't win that way. You can't make the knockout stage that way. This is the World Cup. This is fine margins. So yeah, it's a pity for Denmark, and I'm really shocked. I'm very surprised by this.
Yeah, with them. Oh, yeah. With Denmark, I mean, last World Cup, I wasn't so high in Denmark, and they proved me wrong.
Last
So I
Euros.
thought last Euros, and then this World Cup, I was like, okay, can they carry it on the momentum of the way they've looked? And it just was not there. It's just no urgency to score, and I think that's why they're gonna be going home right now. Um, Australia, I mean, we knew they were lucky to get here. They lost to France. They got that out the way, but the way they got 3 points versus Tunisia, even though it wasn't that good, but they got their 3 points. Their
Who?
ability,
Who?
Australia,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah, they get 3 points against Tunisia, and then somehow, some way, shock us all and get 3 points against Denmark, which has them going through.
By the
And
way,
this is one of
they went into that game thinking a draw would probably get them through because they didn't think like they probably didn't think Tunisia would upset France. But as that Tunisia game unfolded, they needed a win to get through, and they got that a goal. It was wow for me. I mean, Australia, um, they know how they want to play under Arnold. Be defensively solid, bunker in, get that one or two uh, moments where they can get the ball in the back of the net, and they squeaked it into the World Cup, and they got past. For me, they had a lot of grit, had a lot of grit, had a lot of toughness. Didn't have the most quality in terms of the teams that are heading to the knockout stage. In terms of quality, they're probably the least amount, if you have to be completely honest. But they took advantage of the one or two moments that they had to score, and they make sure everything was defensively solid from there in that Tunisia and Denmark game. And hats off to Australia. This the World Cup is about. It's about the underdog story. You know, they don't have the Harry Kewells or the Tim Cahills that they've had before, but you know, this is they have a solid foundation under Graham Arnold, who's a one hell of a coach, and he's got them to the knockout stage. So
Yeah.
great for Australia.
The way they stuck to their game plan and just took advantage and got through says a lot for a team that barely got here. A team that is one of their first World Cups. Like they haven't been to that many World Cups, and the fact that they're able to get the job done, even though they'll be done soon, but the fact that they got there is good. So
Real quick, France, Tunisia. Pity for Tunisia that they did not get through. They got the win that they needed, but at the end of the day, they got the draw. They got a precious point against Denmark, and they had it in their hands against Australia, a team that they are more talented than, and they slipped up. And I'm sorry, if you slip up against Australia, you deserve everything that's coming to you. Despite your win against France, you cannot allow Australia to get those three because those 3 points are not just precious to you, it's precious to the team that you gave it to knock you out of the knockout stage. I mean, to knock you out of in the group stages. So for Tunisia, shame on them, but they controlled it all themselves, and they were the second best team in this group based on the football they played. As far as France, you know, they changed 9 players. They played Camavinga at left back, I believe. They brought in they had only one winger on one side, and then the other side they had a midfield. They didn't have a winger. They just had a they played Gunduzi, Vertu, Chouameni. It was a very weird team. Very weird team. I didn't really know what the formation was or anything. I just think he wanted to get his players out there. He made 9 changes. The fact that they ended out the knockout stage with a loss, do you think that affects it at all entering the knockout stage for France?
well, maybe a little bit down the road, but considering they're playing Poland, who was played like seriously bad,
Well, I mean,
maybe
then actually, I forgot the fact that they're even playing Poland.
yeah,
No, once they get in those situations where you're on bad momentum, when you get the team like Poland, you're getting your momentum and confidence right back up after that. It don't
yeah,
matter from there. It don't matter
yeah.
from there. But yeah,
That
well,
is, but with the
that's
way their front three with Giroud, Dembele, and Mbappe, and then Griezmann right there being able to create. I mean, I think those four should be a positive sign for France, considering they had all these injuries and stuff like that. They won the group with ease, and they're on their way to go far.